All right, here we are. Ward Wrestling Live. Here we are at 2 o'clock. I've got another Florida State champ on our air. Not just once, not just twice, 3-time state champ out of Lake Gibson, 6-time state placer, 2-time Ironman placer, Fargo All-American, and he's here with us, the great Ashton Habeil. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
Good, man. Hey, I'm getting to talk to some wrestlers and some coaches, and it's been pretty cool. What have you been doing through this whole stay-at-home thing?
Literally just lifting and eating. That's about it. I mean, at the beginning we had schoolwork to do, but now I don't have schoolwork and the gym's open, so I just lift.
Man, good for you. So you've been at Lake Gibson all 4 years, right?
Yep.
Man, talk about that program and those coaches and all the coaches that you've been around during that time and what all those guys have meant to you.
I mean, because I started at Tampa Prep and I had Coach Campbell, who was like, he was like my big brother, but it was just so tight and small that it was, I don't even know if you could, because back then it didn't even count as a team. It was more just like we were all just tight friends. There was like 4 of us and coaches were like family. And then went to Lake Gibson and, we've got a JV team that's as big as our varsity team. We've got all these coaches, all these wrestlers, but it felt just as much as a family as anywhere else, Yeah,
man, that's awesome. And I know Danny Walker and Brent George have had a lot of impact on you and your life. When I say those 2 names, what does that mean to you?
I mean, family. I just know they'll have my back no matter what. They're always going to be there.
Nice. Hey, so you've gone through a lot of adjustments in your career so far. What adjustments, talk about all the adjustments you had to make to navigate through so many weight classes.
People ask me that a lot, but I don't know. I didn't really have to make any adjustments. It was like I stayed just as fast because I wasn't one of those big guys that got big and got slow, It was almost like as I got big, I got quicker, but it was just because I got a little better at moving my feet at those bigger weights. And that was really it. I just got bigger and stronger.
And you just kept growing, just one of those kids that just kept growing, huh?
Well, I'm not afraid to bump up. I'm not afraid to lift some heavy weight and eat. I like it more. Yeah.
You like that grub, right?
Yeah, I cut weight in like 7th, 8th, and freshman year, but it's just not for me. I don't like it. I like to move heavy weight and eat too much.
So the bigger weights for you.
Yeah.
What advice would you give the young wrestlers out there who have wrestled their whole lives and put huge expectations on themselves?
I mean, that was me. Just keep those expectations high, and even if you fall short, keep making your goals high. Because if you're up here and if your goals are that high, you're gonna slowly build up to them. Like it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week or the next year, but eventually you're gonna reach some of those goals.
And what have you done to make sure that you've lived up to the goals you've made so far?
I haven't lived up to a single one of them.
Really? And you've kicked some ass.
Thought I was going to be way better than I am. If you would have asked like 13-year-old me, I would have been a 7-time state champ. I would have been a multiple-time world team member, all these crazy things that I find like journals, like, cause I move a good amount and like, I still have boxes and stuff that I haven't gone through. I'll find journals from like 5th grade, just of all the goals that I thought I was going to accomplish by graduating. It's pretty crazy.
So what is that? What has journaling done for you? I know we're taught in sales to journal my whole adult life when I was in sales, but I hear a lot of athletes and coaches talk about journal.
I strayed away from it a little bit this year because I don't know. It got to where I got to like not focus on that part, It was getting too much, but all the way up until this year, it was every day. Before bed, I'd write all my goals. I'd write, it made it a schedule. Like I scheduled out, long-term, short-term, and then like weekly goals. And it just helped me stay on path and keep my mind focused on what I wanted to do.
Would you recommend younger kids write down like things they learn at practice too?
Yeah, things you learn, things you want to work on.
Like when you're watching film and stuff?
Yeah, like I'd write moves that I wanted to learn, moves that I learned, setups that I liked, but I was pretty crazy about it. I'd have like 5 pages filled out by the end of the day. I even as far as to make like wrestling matchups that I wanted to watch when I was little.
Really?
Yeah, like I'd have some of them even happen is the crazy thing because, as time went on, these guys who were like maybe a 25-pounder when I was watching them, and then one was a 49, they ended up meeting in the middle, like Jordan Oliver and Brent Metcalf was one of them. Kyle Dick, Jordan Burroughs was one of them. Darian Cruz, and I think, it was Aaron Pico and Jordan Oliver was another one of them that ended up happening. But I'd write all these matches.
Who is your favorite wrestler out there right now?
Jordan Oliver. He's always been since I was like in 5th grade.
Wow. Have you ever had a chance to meet him?
One time at a freak show.
Wow. What'd that mean to you?
I fangirled that a little bit. I was young.
Don't worry. I'm 44 years old. I still fangirl out sometimes.
The only person, I think he's the only person I've ever fangirled out just because, I don't know, that was like my favorite wrestler ever. I had pictures of him hung up in my room for the longest.
That's your dude. Hey, so talk about, you're all pumped up. You're stoked. You got a college picked out. You're ready to go. ODU. And man, talk about that process and then, what went down and what your plans are now.
I mean, it sucked pretty bad, just because I'd been committed for a while and like I'd known where I wanted to go for a while since like junior year. I'd known all the way until the end of senior year, season gets all the way done. I was supposed to, the day it happened, I was supposed to sign my lease like an hour after I got the phone call and everything. But, I just had planned on that being my home for a good while. I had it set. And then, you get the news that program gets cut. Everyone's going their separate ways. I got to scramble and do the whole recruiting process, just, expedited instead of having your whole high school career to think about it. It sucked, but at the same time, it was like a second chance that a lot of people don't really get.
And you had quite a bit of friends that were involved in that program too, and some that were already there, right?
Yeah, I had Shannon Hanna, who's my best friend. He's been my best friend since I moved to Lake Gibson. I had Sedarian, Connor was going to be there. I had friends in the team that I had met and, kept in contact with all year and everything, which that was one of the main reasons I committed there, just because it was like, a little mini Lake Gibson.
Did they give you a reason?
Nope.
They just said, sorry, homie, no wrestling, no more.
Well, the school itself didn't give any of us a reason. Coach Martin has helped me so much throughout this whole, re-recruiting process. He didn't know what was going on. DT, Daryl Thompson didn't know what was going on. Beasley didn't know what was going on. All of us were just completely in the dark. It was just, find a new home.
Yeah, and one of your kids is with DT now, right? One of your buddies?
Yeah, Shannon.
Over in Campbell, right?
Yep.
We're going to see you in the orange?
Yeah. Not that orange, though.
Not that orange, though. Hey, so have all your buddies and team members found a home yet?
Yeah, I think I'm the last one.
Cool, man. Hey, sometimes, good things come to those who wait, right?
Yeah, I think, 100%.
So do you feel like this was a blessing?
Yeah, I do, honestly. With the way things are looking and if where I think I'm gonna commit to, pans out and goes the way I think it's gonna, then it's 100% a blessing.
Good for you, man. I'm glad to hear that that it's working out. Nothing sucks more than seeing a kid lose an opportunity. So
yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad, because it's the end of the recruiting season. No one had money, so it was just looking like, man, I'm gonna have to go JUCO or NAI, and nothing against those schools. It's just when you've wrestled your whole life, it's just D1, and that realized
you were signed.
Yeah, and I was signed. I had the perfect deal. I had money, all that, going to a D1 school, good offer. I had it all. And then, it was like, you might have to go JUCO.
Well, they say one thing about life, man, it teaches you lessons. So
yeah,
maybe the good Lord was wanting to teach you young. Who knows, man? But you'll get out there. I'm sure you'll kick ass wherever you end up. I'm sure it'll be fun. So I know you've been wrestling in Florida your whole life. So talk about who are those wrestlers or your favorite wrestler to compete against?
It has to be in Florida. Florida wrestlers.
You can do a Florida wrestler and a national wrestler, or you can do a wrestler anywhere in the country. I don't care.
All right. I mean, out of state, it's probably Neville Snodgrass, because that's my friend, but he's just a little ball of muscle, and it's just hard to wrestle him just because he's so strong and so short and fast, and it's just like throwing cats in a barrel or something when we wrestle. And then Florida, that one's hard. I mean, I've had so many, because I've been wrestling high school since 7th grade, so I've had so many different rivals. I give you 2. So
All right.
for Tampa Prep, and then 1 for Lake Gibson. So Kyle Kirkham would be my favorite one from Lake Gibson from freshman year, because I love Kyle now, and that's my homie. But it was just such a good rivalry, you know?
Yeah.
It was fun. It was so tense, you know? We almost fought every time we wrestled. I think I gave up of the penalty points from punching them and stuff, kicking them. And then I want to say from Tampa Prep, I'm going to go Derek Miller, even though I never beat him. He beat me 2 times in a row in the state finals and then in the Clay invitational semis. But I don't know. He's the only person that ever really put it on me like that.
Wow. And it's funny you talked to, I was telling you about Jesse earlier, talking about the loss to you made him come back better, and you guys have good matches. But it's funny you guys talk about, like, really good wrestlers talk about the losses that made them better. So pretty cool to hear you say that. So you ready for some 10 questions?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's make sure. Let me refresh this and make sure I'm not missing any comments here. I want to make sure, because I keep missing. Make sure we're good here. See what we got. We got any shout outs?
My dad comment, because I know he stays on Facebook.
I got a comment from Rob Jordan. He was just asking if you had any college choices yet, but we touched on that. You don't. I mean, Rob, he's speaking to some colleges right now. We should have an answer shortly from him.
Yeah.
All right, man. Iron Man or the Beast?
Iron Man, 100%.
32 or Fargo?
That's a hard one, man. I've never placed it. I mean, I placed in middle school, but I kind of got worked every time I went there. And then, you know, Fargo. I'm going to say Fargo because it's a whole experience in itself.
IG or Twitter?
Twitter.
Burgers or wings?
Ooh. I'm gonna say wings.
I like them too. All right, since we Florida boys, Publix subs or Publix fried chicken?
Public subs. A pub sub, chicken tender sub, honey pressed.
Honey pressed?
Yeah, you get the chicken tender sub, you get it cut up, you get them tossed in honey mustard. Hold on. All right, my bad. You get them tossed in honey mustard, and you get it honey pressed. Best thing.
Ooh. To hit up that Publix, do a honey press. I'm down. Yeah. Universal or Busch Gardens?
Busch Gardens.
The East Coast beach or the Gulf Coast beach?
I'm not a beach person. So I don't.
Either one?
Yeah, one.
Fortnite or Call of Duty?
Haven't had a video game since 5th grade.
Oh, so Mario Kart or Smash Brothers, those are out too?
Pokemon.
Bam.
Yeah. Pokemon.
All right, here we go. Gummy bears or sour worms?
Gummy bears. I eat gummy bears. Oh, do Sour Patch Kids count as sour worms?
Sure.
All right, I got to go Sour Patch Kids. I eat a pack every time I lift.
Because you get a gummy bear dipped in sour sugar. You get the best of both worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, Ashton, it's awesome talking to you, man. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to shout out?
I give a shout out to of course, my coaches and everything. Coach Martin for helping me with the whole recruiting process. Second recruiting process, you know. And then this is one I was thinking about this the other night. This is one shout out I never got to give in any of my interviews or like any post-match interviews or anything like that. I want to give a shout out to my brother, because without him, I wouldn't be nearly half the wrestler or person that I am today. I wouldn't have gotten it to any of my goals. None of it. I wouldn't have anything. So without him, I wouldn't be anywhere. I just want to give a shout out to him.
Well, there we go. And it's also really good to hear Coach Martin was the coach at ODU, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And that's really good to hear that he's really stayed in touch with everybody and kind of helped you guys out and get to a new school. So
He told me
shout out to him.
He told me he had a list of the people he was going to help, and I was dead last because he knew I was going to be the hardest. I was going to be the most picky.
Hey, it's all right. Hey, we all got our thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ashton, thank you so much for coming on, man. 6-time state placer in Florida, 4-time finalist, 3-time champ. Another Florida stud heading to the college D1 level somewhere. We don't know yet, but I'm sure as soon as he decides, he'll let the wrestling world know. Ashton,
why don't you go and tell him that I'll announce where I'm going to commit to like sometime next week on the Ward Wrestling Live.
Yeah, man, I'll do it. You can get on there too. You can announce it. I'll type something on there that'll and I'll tag you. And
all right, sounds good.
But you're gonna hear it here first. Well, probably not. Coach Walker and George will know before I do.
They might not. I mean, they kind of already know. So yeah.
Hey, those guys are great, man. They're putting out some awesome kids. So good for the Lake Gibson family, man. And you guys take it easy, keep growing, and it's really good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, so you take care.
All right, bye.